Question number 7. Alleluia. 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 I don't know why I keep saying or, you know, just sort of, why am I blanking? So there's definitely like a lot of people's bookshelves where I'm like, man, your stuff looks good, for sure. Hi everyone, it's Audrey and welcome back to Chapter and Converse. Today's video is going to be the Under the Influence of Booktube tag. And this was an original tag by a book Olive, and I will link her original video of this down below. And she probably did this like 6 months ago or something, but it seems to be popping up again on people's channels, and no, I wasn't tagged. I'm just crashing the party and doing it anyway, but I thought it was fun. I've been on Booktube a whole 3.5 months now, so obviously I'm qualified to do this, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I thought it would be something fun to do, trying to switch up the videos, and I was enjoying watching people's videos on this, so I figured why not do it also. Okay, so I will include all the questions down below so you have them in case you want to do this tag, which, P.S. you should, and let's just do it. So, question number 1 is, what's a fantastic book you read off the recommendation of another booktuber? And oppositely, what's a book that you were talked out of reading because of a booktuber's review? So, we basically could do an entire video about books that were recommended to me by booktubers that I normally wouldn't have read. Literally so many books that I've discovered through you guys. But I will say sort of 2 that come front of mind that anyway, Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Hunneman, and Beartown by Frederick Bachman. And these are 2 books that I 100% guarantee that if I had just walked into the bookstore and read the back cover, I would have been like, meh, and kept on going. And these books both kept coming up over and over again on people's channels. And by the time this video goes up, I will have talked about both of them because I've read them both. I just finished Eleanor and I read Beartown in January. And I would say I completely had misconceptions about what Beartown was about, which would make me not pick it up. And Eleanor, I think I just would have read it and been like, wow, this sounds distressing. No. And they were both just such beautiful books. They both made me cry, which is not a reason not to pick them up, but they're such well-written books, such beautiful stories, and not thrillers in any way. I'm a huge thriller reader, which is one reason why I probably would not have gravitated towards either of these, but they are just such incredible books that I 100% read because of you guys recommending them, talking about them, praising them, raving about them, for sure. And then when it comes to books that I can't think of a book per se that, and again, I haven't been here very long, but that someone has talked bad about that's made me not read it. I did recently talk about this in a video. I read Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng, and I heard a lot of people talk about how like they didn't really like the book or didn't like it as much as Little Fires Everywhere. And I will say there was like a part of me, I already owned it at this stage, but hadn't read it obviously, that made me kind of like give it a little bit of pause, like, oh, maybe it's not that good, maybe I'm not gonna like it, maybe I should read Little Fires Everywhere instead. I do think, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, B.A. Paris, I haven't read Behind Closed Doors, The Breakdown, or any of those books, and I was curious about them because I'd heard good things sort of out in the universe about it, but I've heard a lot of crap on YouTube or Booktube about it, like crap talk, that they're not good and they're not worth it. So actually B.A. Paris is someone I have not picked up because of Booktube. So if I'm making a mistake, let me know. But for the most part, I'm hearing like, no, don't read it. So I didn't. Question number 2. Has Booktube opened your mind to or changed your mind about any genres? So I have talked about this before. I'm a pretty solid thriller reader. And while in the past I had like dabbled in chick lit or dabbled in contemporary, some nonfiction sort of sprinkled in between, I had been in a hardcore thriller mode for months and months and months. And I will say Booktube has opened me up, obviously, Eleanor and Beartown being perfect examples, to books beyond the thriller genre. And I have picked up more contemporary. I am trying YA, not because I'm trying to like get in on something or like think that's going to improve views or channel my audience or anything like that. Like, I'm not going to read something that's not authentically something I'm interested in, but I've heard so many good reviews about so many YA books. I'm in this sort of this mindset of like, am I missing out on something? And there's YA mysteries. So I read one earlier this month that I totally liked. I've read other ones that I didn't totally like. So ultimately, I'm sort of like, I still don't think YA is like the genre for me, but I did pick up some books sort of in an effort to try to be a little bit outside the box and see how that goes. But I will say I've been like reintroduced to contemporary, and that has been a wonderfully pleasant experience because I definitely am a creature of habit in life and in reading. So hearing about other books has definitely got me out of that thriller mode, and I'm very happy about that. Question number 3. How much time did you spend on YouTube before Booktube, and how much time do you spend on it now? So I was quite a big YouTube like beauty fashion channel watcher, and that's probably where I spent most of my time. I would do like some random video. Actually, yeah, I would watch a lot of like author interviews, actor interviews, sort of Hollywoodish type things. I love pop culture. I would do a lot of interviews with actors and actresses that I liked and things like that. And I would spend some good time with that. So I probably split my time probably like 65-35, 65 being beauty and fashion, and then being the rest of it. And I did that for years and years and years. And then I discovered Booktube totally by accident. Like, I didn't even know that this world existed, and I was actually watching some author interviews on Creative Live, and I was thinking like, oh, like I want to watch more of these. I love seeing authors live. I love listening to their stories. I love listening to everything, and I kind of went on YouTube and was Googling some authors, you know, typing it in, whatever, and that's how I discovered Booktube. So thank God for all of that. And, you know, I would say I probably spend around the same amount of time on YouTube, although now I probably spend like 10% on fashion and beauty. Probably still spend around the same amount of time doing like actors and actresses and interviews and entertainment type of things. And then where I used to do fashion and beauty, I'm now doing Booktube videos. So my time on YouTube is probably about the same, but what I'm actually watching is completely different. Number 4. How many books did you read per month per year before Booktube, and how many do you read now? So this, I would say, has varied depending on kind of like where I was at in life and work and other things, but I probably read like 2 or 3 books a month, max, for the past few years. There was a time where I was reading 1 or 2 a week. And again, it depended on the job and kind of where I was at in my life. But in more recent years, I probably read 2 or 3 books a month, and that felt pretty ballin' to me. That has definitely changed since Booktube, which I think is the next question. Yeah. No. How many do you read now? Same question. So now I have been kind of reading like 7, 8 a month. Again, it depends on like, you know, where I'm at with my life. Obviously the holidays, there was more kind of leisure time where you could do things like that. So we'll see if I can keep up this consistency, but I have definitely shifted sort of some of my habits, whether it's like television or how I'm spending my time. I have picked up audiobooks, which is something I had never done before. So that's definitely enabled me to read more books each month. So I'm definitely reading more now in a good way, happy about it. So my reading is up. Number 5, has Booktube affected your book buying habits? And if so, are you pleased or displeased by this? So I was always a big buyer of books, but I didn't really do like huge hauls a lot. I would definitely like have moments where I would pick up like 7 or 8 books, and that felt like crazy to me. But I've always been someone who wanders into a bookstore, walks around, picks things up, you know, has a running list of what she wants to read, buys books, compulsively at times. Whether I'm traveling, whether I'm home, it doesn't matter. Like always, since I was a kid, always. So I will say that I have definitely been buying more since I started Booktube. Part of it is because I'm hearing about so many books and I'm discovering so many books that I'm curious about. I had not really known that Book Outlet existed until last year, so that's changed things for me. For the better, for the worse. I'm not hating on how many books I was buying, but I did make a resolution this year that I was gonna kind of like slow it down, kind of pump the brakes, be more mindful about the books that I was buying, which I have done. I just bought a couple of books I'm waiting for to come, and then I'm gonna do like a book haul. Those are the first books that I bought in 2019. So I went like 6 or 7 weeks without buying anything, which I feel like is great. I exerted tremendous self-control. But I also have leveraged the hell out of my library and Overdrive and Hoopla and like different apps to be able to get books for free. So I've had access to new books, but I haven't spent any money on them. So I am feeling good about where I'm at, and I'm also actually in some ways feeling better because I would knee-jerk buy a brand new book, you know, full price or whatever, you know, Amazon's price was kind of a thing, or maybe have a 20 off coupon to Barnes & Noble. But whereas now I think I'm getting better deals and I'm being savvier about it, and I am leveraging reading books for free when I can, which has made a huge difference. Okay, number 6, has a review by a booktuber ever retroactively made you reconsider your stance on a book? I can't think of anything in particular. I do like watching people's book reviews of books that I've already read because I like to, you know, hear other people's perspectives, hear other people's feedback on the books, you know, knowing exactly what they're talking about. And I also like to watch spoiler-free book reviews if it's a book that I'm curious about. And I think unless, again, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I've watched and changed my opinion about things. I've listened to other people's reviews and disagreed with them, but I don't think it's changed my mind on things for better or for worse. But I would be curious. But I have definitely like seen reviews on things and heard a different perspective that's made me sort of be like, oh, okay, like I see where that's coming from, or oh, I hadn't thought about it that way, but nothing that's actually changed my opinion on anything yet. Never say never. Question number 7. Are there any videos you've been inspired to make after seeing another booktuber's video? Have you ever felt inspired by another booktuber style, video style, book organization style, personal style, anything? I mean, I'm making this video, so does that count as being inspired? I'm so new to all of this, so I feel like I'm sort of a sponge right now and just kind of like watching what other people are doing. And I certainly, you know, have no intention of running out and copying what people are doing, but would love to come up with, you know, sort of my own ideas. I'm thinking about like Lindsay does Booklist Thursday, and Heather from Bookables does like mashup reviews, and Lala, her entire channel is just like a creative explosion of great videos. And, you know, I think there's so many people who do book vlogs, and I'm curious about vlogging. I mean, I will say like that's one thing that I'm curious about, but I don't know that there's anything really interesting to vlog about in my life or how I would work it into my life. So there's, you know, that and sort of the logistics of the entire thing is why I haven't tried it out yet. But I would love to come up with just sort of like some sort of recurring types of videos. Like I said, like a Booklist Thursday, I love that idea. And things that you keep coming back to. You know, people revisit their hauls, which I love. Again, I've been here for 5 minutes, so I don't have any hauls to revisit with you guys. And I think like those types of things will come over time, and I'm hoping that like the creative juices will be flowing over time. So for now, I'm just trying to brainstorm and learn from other people. But I'm definitely in awe of a lot of the videos that I see. I'm still in awe of the amount of content that people put out and the frequencies of their videos and the frequency of different videos that people are putting out. So I'm hoping, you know, kind of more will come to me over time, but I do find sort of the community in general to be inspirational. So yes, a lot of people inspire me. Question number 8. What are some pressures you feel on your reading life because of your channel? I do feel like I should be reading more because I feel like there's so many books that I want to read. There's so many books that I've talked about. There's so many books that I've bought, and I should be reading them all and talking about them after the fact. And I have no idea how many books are on my TBR, or like how many books I own that I haven't read yet. And not because it's like in the hundreds, but because I'm just thoroughly disorganized and have no idea how many I have. So I do feel like I should be reading more. And there are certainly times, like especially, and I know that this isn't what it should be about, but like doing a readathon, like contemporary-a-thon, like I really wanted to read more books, and I didn't, I wanted to get that 4th book read during contemporary-a-thon, which I failed at. And it's because part of me was slower getting into things, and I was away for a couple of days, and it's just hard sometimes. But I do feel a little bit of a pressure of like, I should be reading faster. I should be getting more done here. And also like, I should be filming more frequently, and I should be doing these things more frequently. But this is also supposed to be for fun. So I just need to like take the pressure off, and just let it be. But yes, I for sure feel sometimes that there's some pressure to read some more. Question number 9. In what way, if any, do you feel the social element of the community has impacted your reading? Do you think about books differently since joining? Like, yes and no. I definitely think, the social aspect of being able to talk to people about books has been great. Having conversations, getting recommendations from people, meeting new people through this has been a huge change for me. And I do have, some friends who like to read, but I don't have any close friends sort of in real life, which sounds weird, who are as excited and passionate about books. So I mean, people that I see on a regular basis. So I have friends who are, kind of far away, and we sort of talk, over text and things like that. But I don't have anyone sort of in my face that's as passionate about it as I am. So having a community of people who are as passionate has been a huge change. And I've been talking about books more now than I've talked about in forever, which is great. And then I think, what was the other part of this question? Do I think about books differently? In some ways I do, because I think I'm more dialed into a lot of things than I was before. And like, I didn't realize that like such a thing like NetGalley, and I don't think I'm in a position to be getting advanced copies of anything. I mean, I'm, me and just starting out here, but the idea that you could actually get an advanced copy of a book, I didn't know that that was a thing. And, kind of how exposed I've been to so many different books that I didn't even know existed before, and how many authors that I didn't even know existed before, and how many amazing stories are out there that I didn't know existed. So I think I've always, like I said, I've always been a creature of habit. I've always kind of gravitated towards specific authors, or like, do you like this, you're gonna like that kind of a thing. I think I've broadened sort of what I'm open to, and I think I've become a little bit more open-minded in things that I will try. So I do think about books differently in that sense, and I feel like I'm a little bit less closed off than I used to be. Last question, number 10. What influence do you hope your own channel will have on the Booktube community and or aspiring booktubers? So I would like to think that if there's anybody out there who's watching this and thinking like, hey, maybe I want to do this, that you will listen when I say, just do it. I was one of those people. I didn't think I could do this. I don't even know if I said this is like my newbie tag, but like I had talked to a friend of mine at work, could have been like over a year ago. And I was like, maybe I could be like a booktube, make videos and things like that. And she was like, you should do it. Like she's one of those people who's like, do it, go for it. You have to be happy in life. Life is too short. And I kind of like thought about it, but like was too afraid to do it. So push through the fear. Don't be afraid. Just do it. Just sit down, your phone, your camera, whatever it is that you have, and give it a go. Do some test videos. You don't even have to post them. But hopefully, if there's anyone out there who's thinking about doing this or who's interested in doing it, they will just do it. And just push past all that other stuff, because none of that stuff matters. This is the nicest group of people, the warmest, most welcoming group of people that you can ever imagine. And I was afraid of, kind of all of that stuff, and not so much what were people going to think, but like, if a Booktube channel falls in the forest and no one's around to see it, does it make a sound? So I would like to think, or I would like to hope, that maybe someone will be encouraged to start their own channel. If you don't want to start your own channel, you're not there yet, participate in the community through the comments. Comment on people's videos, tell them about books that you're reading, just engage in some way, or get on Instagram, or, you know, do something, Bookstagram, whatever we're going to call it. But be a part of the community if that's what you want to do. You don't have to make the videos, but if you're interested, you know, in being here and being a part of it, then be a part of it in whatever way feels comfortable and feels right for you. But I love talking about books. I love getting recommendations from you guys. I love the exchanges that we have in the comments, and I hope that will just continue. And, you know, it's wonderful to know that, you know, I'm connecting with people and people are connecting with me. And that's all I ever wanted to do. You know, I wanted to come here, I wanted to talk about what I love and talk about books that I love and talk to people who want to talk about books. So hopefully that will continue, you know, to grow. And I don't, you know, necessarily mean like numbers are going to grow, but that I can be here for a long time. I can keep on making videos. I can keep talking about what I love. And, you know, hopefully, again, you know, if anyone who's thinking about doing this, hopefully they will be encouraged to give it a go, because this was a huge leap of faith for me. And by far, you know, it's been 3.5 months, but one of the best decisions I feel like I've made, and I haven't really made myself uncomfortable in a long time, and I needed it, and I'm glad I did it because I'm having a great time with it, and I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful for all of you guys who are watching. So that's me under the influence of Booktube. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this and, you know, had a little bit of fun along the way with me. And like I said at the beginning, if you are interested in doing this tag, for sure do it. And if you're not someone who wants to make videos and do the tag, but you want to comment on any of the questions down below, totally do that too. That's why we're all here. So hopefully this was a bit of fun, a little bit something different. And as always, thank you for hanging out a bit today, spending some of your day with me. And I will be back here soon-ish with something different and something new. So hopefully you'll be back to join me too. If you're interested in getting the alerts, make sure you hit that little bell next to the subscribe button down below. And I will see you guys back here in no time. So thanks everybody. Bye.